Okay, you dead meats. Let's jump into everybody's favorite Macaulay Culkin vehicle. It's 1993's The Good Son, directed by Joseph Rubin.
Yeah, but isn't it also an Elijah Wood vehicle?
Shut up. Now, in case you forgot, this movie came out when Macaulay Culkin had pretty much reached peak popularity. He'd done 1989's Uncle Buck, and then 1990's Home Alone.
Don't forget that movie about the bees, Barry. Oh, he can't see without his glasses.
Yeah, that was in 91.
Yeah, and then they did the Home Alone movie all over again, except it took place in New York, and Kevin McAllister almost got finger blasted by that slumlord.
Yeah, that was in 92. And it was after that point that Macaulay Culkin's allegedly insane father decided that he liked the idea of pushing his son beyond the typical cute kiddie roles to play a darker sort of character. Now, if you're not aware of Macaulay's estrangement from his father, well, I guess you can piss off and go do some research. There are like a million goddamn videos about it, so it's not exactly a state secret.
He was bad to his kids. He was bad to his wife. You know, he was the worst person I've ever known in my entire life.
I was trapped in small hotel rooms with a crazy person. You know.
No, I haven't spoken to him in, what would it be, about 30-something years?
The way Macaulay describes him, Kit Culkin pretty much sounds like a cross between Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood and Joan Crawford from Mommy Dearest.
Ah! No wire hangers!
Well, Barry, isn't it true that pretty much none of them Culkin kids will have anything to do with the father?
Yeah, that seems to be correct. And last we heard, Daddy Dearest was living in his shitty little house over there in Grants Pass.
Oh yeah, that's out there on the way to Crescent City.
Shut up, asswipe. But apparently, Daddy Culkin suffered a massive stroke in 2014. And nobody really knows what he's up to.
Well, back in the 90s, didn't Daddy Culkin threaten Fox by promising that if they didn't put Macaulay in The Good Son, they couldn't have him for Home Alone 2 either? See, that's important information, Barry. I don't know how you miss it with them crazy Cash Vitellian eyes of yours.
Shut up. Now, as I said, this movie is directed by the one and only Joseph Robinette Rubin.
Who the fuck is Joseph Rubin?
Jesus, Jester, Max, and Christ. Look, he directed a movie called Sleeping with the Enemy.
Sounds sultry. Does it involve kangaroos?
Nah, man, it's Julia Roberts.
Skip!
Well, it's also worth noting that a lot of the stunts in this movie are done with a high level of practicality. I mean, sure, you can see a production member helping Elijah Wood up onto the tree fort, but otherwise, we think that's the actual actor. And this really is the two kid actors who appear to be dangling from a cliffside. But of course, there's also a lot of safety gear and camera angle fuckery that you can't see.
Like when the mom goes off the cliff.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, you know, this ain't the real Macaulay Culkin.
No, but this is.
Yeah, and allegedly McKevin made the producers promise to buy him a pellet gun if he performed that stunt.
Yeah, and then Macaulay used the BB gun to threaten that kid from Last Action Hero. We've all heard this story. Hey, glup shitto. Reel in that low-riding gut of yours and tell him about the cast.
Okay. Well, we already talked about Macaulay Culkin, who plays Henry.
Yeah, but the central protagonist is Mark Evans, played by Elijah Wood.
Yeah, that's right, Marco. I don't understand why all these shit-ass kids gotta have Amish names. Anyway, young Elijah's career was off to a good start at this point. He'd made that brief cameo in 1989's Back to the Future, too. And the previous year, he had appeared in that Radio Flyer movie, which was co-directed by the great Dick Donner.
But, Macaulay Culkin definitely had the greater star power at the time.
Now, as for the rest of the cast, we got David Morse as Mark's dad,
That's the old boy from Green Mile.
Yeah, but he also played the stupid-ass alien in that Jodie Foster movie.
And then we got Wendy Crewson as Susan. That's Henry's hot, elvish mommy. Yeah, she was in Air Force One, along with 10,000 shitty made-for-TV movies you've never heard of. And it's pretty much the same story with Daniel Hugh Kelly, who plays Wallace, Henry's daddy. Yeah, this guy was mostly a TV actor back when TV truly was an inferior art form.
Bro, you're not gonna mention the sister?
Yeah. Henry's little sister Connie is played by Quinn Culkin, who really is the biological sister of Macaulay Culkin.
And Rory Culkin's likeness is also used for the Richard character.
What? How many goddamn Culkin kids are there, Barry?
I don't know. Pretty sure there's 1 or 2 Culkins for every ingrown hair on my ass.
Barry, make yourself useful and tell them about the context. You're just standing there all gross and damp looking. You're like the human equivalent of Artie Lang's nose.
Okay, asswipes. It's worth remembering that The Good Son owes its overall conceit to a 1956 film titled The Bad Seed.
Yeah, but that movie was based on a novel and a Broadway play.
That's not important. So, the whole deal with The Bad Seed is that it features this family of rich, leave-it-to-beaver-style asswipes. And Rhoda, the little shit-ass girl, seems very blonde and proper on the surface.
But it turns out she's some kind of goddamn commie robot.
Bovan, what did we talk about? Don't make us tase you again. She's not a robot. She's a little child psychopath.
Tried to run away from me, so I hit him with my shoe again! But he kept on crying and making a noise.
You find out Little Miss Pigtails here has deleted the lives of like 3 different people. But, the movie is interesting insofar as it opens up compelling questions about...
Piss on my shoes! Bro, not that nature versus nurture shit again.
There's no question. The answer's obvious.
I don't care about heredity versus environment. In fact, I'm sick and tired of hearing it.
Oh, yes, you wretched chuds. We're doing nature versus nurture again.
We've all been putting too much emphasis on environment and too little on heredity. It's just that they are bad seeds. Plain bad from the beginning.
Yeah, but Barry, that shit is so played out. Everybody knows it's a false dichotomy. It's like saying mind versus body.
Nah, it's like when Barry says we get to choose between paying for electricity or paying for water.
Anyway, The Bad Seed is a movie that's interested in the subject of heritable psychopathy.
Do children ever commit murders, or is crime something that's learned gradually and grows as the criminal grows, so that only adults do really dreadful things?
At first blush, Rhoda Penmark and her corny family seem idyllic enough, but we only find out later that Rhoda's mom, Christine, was adopted, and she's actually the daughter of an Australian serial killer.
And that's why Rhoda's a psychopath?
Nature over nurture.
That's fucking stupid.
Listen here. If you want stupid, you need to watch this movie's ending. I bet you thought the ending of I Am Legend was bad. Watch The Bad Seed. That'll put some hair on your ass.
Yeah, but Barry, what's that got to do with The Good Son?
The point is, The Good Son is a movie that's pretty much built on the brittle bones of this elephant dump of a thriller movie. And although you'd think the director, Joseph Rubin, might learn something from The Bad Seed's mistakes, his movie ends up committing more than one of the same errors.
You saying The Good Son ain't a certified banger?
It's not even close.
Well, Barry, tell him about the story before you get too sweaty to read the cue cards.
Okay, lowlives, welcome back to Kingman, Arizona. It's that cum stain out in the desert that we just can't seem to wash out. Young Mark here is a typical little pissant kid who likes to play soccer and log onto OnlyFans and grow his own dope or whatever. Unfortunately, his mama's not gonna make it past this hospital scene. Meanwhile, Mark's daddy, this guy from the Green Mile, needs to go close an important deal in Tokyo.
What kind of deals this man gotta close? Bro, I mean, his fucking wife just died.
I don't know. Look, they were probably about to get divorced anyway. It's a very common story.
Well, I didn't realize this was gonna be a Stephen King movie where the parents are all autistic as shit.
Yeah, so Mark's Jeep daddy drives him to Maine to stay with his auntie and uncle.
You know, if you ever get tired of bombing the universe...
Dan, did you get tired of bombing the universe?
What? Bro, you telling me they drive from goddamn Arizona to Maine? I mean, does this prick have some kind of airplane phobia or what?
Listen, air travel was pretty expensive in 1993.
Yeah, but Mr. Jeep Wrangler here's about to close that big deal in Tokyo. He and Mark gonna be set for life.
Okay. So, up in Maine with the Evans family, things don't go too well for Mark.
For starters, they got one of them creepy shrine rooms for Henry's kid brother Richard, who expired in the bathtub under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, but the main issue is Henry, who's kind of an asswipe. Kind of like Deepak Chopra or Russell Brand. He's constantly making cryptic remarks and just letting them hang in the air, as if they're so profound.
If I let you go, you think you could fly?
Plus, this little creep has a different haircut for every goddamn scene.
And as far as psychopathy goes, Barry, this kid checks all the boxes. For starters, he's cruel to small animals.
He loves to create danger and chaos for innocent passersby.
And he plays way too rough with his sister.
Yeah, Henry's kind of high-strung for a pothead.
Nah, man, they burning an early version of that K2.
Yeah, but the most annoying part is how none of these asswipes seem to understand that Mark is a 10-year-old kid who just lost his mom.
What's the matter?
What is it? What's wrong with Mark? Why, what's wrong?
Great knuckle fucking Christ, I guess this movie does take place in Derry, Maine. And I just gotta say it, Barry, this might be the whitest thing we've ever reviewed.
Sweet Christ, he's right. This movie is whiter than David Duke's last Spotify playlist.
Man, this whole premise is basically just Home Alone if Kevin McAllister had access to 4chan. He got all the same little Rube Goldberg-style gags and booby traps. Only this time, he's the Antichrist.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Marco. Now piss off.
You know, man, this is a perfect example of a movie that has some really great moments. One of my favorite subtle moments is when Mark stares down his dinner lobster like it just started singing Ace of Base.
Yeah, that's right, Fly. It's a nice moment of levity, and it also makes sense on the character level. Remember, Mark is from Kingman, so there's not a goddamn chance he knows how to eat a lobster.
Barry, do we ever find out what this wine-drinking, cardigan-wearing family of Rush Limbaugh listeners does for a living to afford this crazy fucking house? I mean, you could whip open any door you want and piss right into the Atlantic.
I'm pretty sure they explained that Henry's dad created Enron. Bro, pay attention.
Look, in order to truly understand this movie, we gotta delve deeper into young Henry's horrifying psyche. And you can think of old Barry as a big, fat-ass version of Sigmund fucking Freud, because according to my psychoanalysis, Henry...
Hey, Barry!
Time to get paid!
Okay, lowballers. We know our viewers are a bunch of disgusting, immoral drunks.
I'm drunk now.
And that's why our good friends at Poorhaus have got a new product just for you. No cap. Get ready to have the best drunken sleep of your life with the wet mat.
Let's get wet!
Aren't you tired of waking from your shit-faced stupor only to find you've pissed the bed again? Well, thanks to the wet mat, no more wet mattresses, And no more staggering to the toilet in the middle of the night.
Let's definitely get one for Barry. Last week, I woke up to find him pissing into my closet again.
Hey, I was having a Denny's flashback. Let it go.
Structured from a hyper-absorbent military-grade polymer lattice, the wet mat can soak up over 5 liters of your hot bodily excretions. Oh yes, that's Poorhaus's patented piss lock technology, Marco.
Piss lock!
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Made from the same stuff they use to line the underwear of our brave astronauts.
Godspeed!
And cleanup is a snappity snap. Just rinse off your wet mat with a hose, or hit it with some Pine Sol and let her ride. Good as new. Oh, and the wet mat is available in 3 zesty fragrances: deep fried lemon, dirty milkshake, and mordant ex-wife.
Okay, the promo code is Wicked Pissa.
Game on!
Welcome back to Poverty Circus. My name's Barry. So, of course, Henry shows some traits that are consistent with narcissistic personality disorder. One of his favorite pastimes is to get Mark all spun up and paranoid, so he can then make him look like an asshole.
Mom, Dad, it's Mark. You better come quick.
He's a vile little gaslighter, Barry.
Yeah, that's right. You senile old horsefucker. And in case you're unaware, the phrase gaslighting originates from an Ingrid Bergman movie from the 40s.
Well, actually, Barry, the Bergman version ain't even the original. There was a British version that came out a few years earlier.
Yeah, stop trying to gaslight me, Marco. You grizzle-headed asswipe.
Well, tell Bovan to stop gaslighting us all.
Fire in my hole!
Bovan, you know the rules. No pyrotechnics. Yeah, so the Gaslight movie is famous for the psychological manipulation that George enacts against his wife, Paula. You know, he's constantly dicking around with the brightness of the gas lamps and then trying to convince Paula that she's crazy.
Just like how Henry's constantly gaslighting the members of his family, especially the mom.
I'm sorry, Mom. We were playing this really dumb game. We weren't fighting. We were just playing. Weren't we, Mark?
Right. And once Henry figures out that Mark has taken a shine to Henry's elvish mommy, his ambitions become more diabolical yet.
Mark, did you cry at your mom's funeral?
Jesus, this kid's getting ready to pull an Arthur Fleck. Okay, Barry, go ahead and tell him about the denouement.
It's not a denouement, you pompous little shit. It's just an ending.
Ah, whatever, Barry. You're still the most unfuckable guy on YouTube. And yes, I am including that dirty little cockroach man who sleeps in a bed of dead rats or whatever.
So, things get pretty wild up there along the coast of Maine. I don't even know where to start.
Well, Barry, one of the main inciting incidents here is when the mom sneaks into Henry's twisted little psychopath's workshop and discovers the rubber ducky.
Which belonged to Richard, Henry's deceased baby brother.
Let me just say right now, Barry, that...
No. Whatever it is, we don't want to hear it.
But I'm not talking about the stupid kids, Barry. I'm talking about that rubber duck.
I know it's about the rubber ducky, and I don't want to hear it. Okay, look, folks. You don't need us to draw you a goddamn diagram. The mom's not exactly Columbo, but even she understands that it's very suspicious for Henry to be in possession of a rubber ducky that disappeared at the precise moment that poor little Richard's lungs filled with bathwater. Henry sorta confesses to stealing the ducky.
I took it because I wanted something to remember Richard by.
Yeah, but it's not exactly a healing moment.
Meanwhile, Henry's cuckish father is very confident that Mark has lost his goddamn mind, so he takes the most humane course and sentences Mark to solitary confinement.
And then young Henry decides to invert the Oedipus complex. Instead of going after the cuck father, he decides to commit a bit of the old matricide.
But unbeknownst to Henry, Mark has escaped. You know, the kid, not me.
Yeah, and that's when we get this sort of Sophie's Choice style scenario.
Okay. Let's not get carried away, people.
Ah, seriously?
Man, not even Casey Anthony would let go of her own flesh and blood to save some stinking nephew. Yo, sis, you remember Aunt Nona?
Bruh, that dank old bitch never so much as hugged me.
Used to give me a birthday handshake and a card with $2 in it.
Ah, lucky bastards. I usually just got a new pair of shoelaces.
Yo, Mark, you think Aunt Nona'd save you over her own son?
She wouldn't pour you a glass of water if your goddamn tongue was on fire.
Okay, shut up, kids. Let's see which proverbial door Aunt Susan's gonna choose. Oh, sweet God, I guess he won't be able to
his
see.
glasses.
Bang-a-rang.
You can't see
Look
without
out
his
below,
glasses.
rich folk.
Keep the change, you filthy
Yo,
animal.
Alex Honnold would have made it back up.
Yeah, you're all very funny. But is it really that much of a stretch that she'd let him go?
Barry, no mother's gonna drop her own son onto the rocks. Doesn't matter how much of a douchebag he is.
Ah, listen here, you chud. You know, if I had a dime for every time one of my relatives dropped me off of a rooftop or a scaffolding or a water tower or whatever, well, I'd be living the good life in a premium double wide by myself. You don't see me complaining.
That's a fair point, Barry. I mean, maybe Henry's okay. Maybe he just skinned his knee or whatever.
Man, come on. Bro, this cannot be how the movie ends.
No, it's actually not. We get this brief little shot where Mark is whacking Kingman, reflecting on the experience. Now, I want to make this clear. We're changing the tone of the voice to avoid YouTube's dog shit copyright claim system, but we're not changing a single word of this little voiceover.
Henry is gone and the rest of us are safe. But sometimes late at night I find myself thinking, not about Henry, but about Susan, and wondering if she had it to do over, would she make the same choice? I guess I'll always wonder, but I know I'll never ask.
We're not doing a bit. This is actually what's in the movie.
Barry, you fat rascal, are you pulling my long balls?
I'm not pulling any part of your body, you withered old creep. And that's really how this stinking movie ends.
The Mark character seems to have no idea how much trauma the Evans family has just taken on. Susan already lost Richard. Now she's down to just Connie.
Ain't enough therapy in the world to get this family even halfway functional.
Yes, we all agree that it's a pretty great ending. Now let's throw it over to Al, see what kind of pretentious analytical slop he's got for us.
Greetings, Barry. You and your gut are looking especially plump this evening.
Ah, piss off, space hippie.
Okay. So when it comes to the good son, you see, I'm tempted to level my finger and declare that this Henry fellow is a pure embodiment of evil. But that word often conceals more than it reveals, for Henry is a curious sort of storm. For the most part, he does not rage. He does not howl. Instead, he calculates. He studies the reactions of others as though they were pieces on a chessboard, and he moves them accordingly. In psychological parlance, we might speak of callous, unemotional traits, the childhood form of what later blossoms into full-on psychopathy, an absence of empathy, a shallow emotional register, and a remarkable ability to mimic normal feeling without ever quite experiencing it. What is particularly striking is that Henry possesses intelligence and composure, but without the requisite ego injunction that would convince him that other people are as real as he is. The ego in him is sealed off, like a small island that never realizes it is part of a greater archipelago.
Yeah, so it's solipsism? Just say solipsism. Asswipe.
Yeah, it's pretty much solipsism. And in that sense, Henry resembles a hideous prefiguration of the modern, narcissistic, Instagram-binging human condition in which you miserable wretches currently exist. It's no coincidence that Henry's name, which derives from the Germanic Heimrich, translates to Lord of the Household. You see, Henry's is a mind that treats reality as a sort of modular stage upon which its own gruesome will is performed. And yet, I would hesitate to call him evil in some mystical sense. Rather, Henry represents what happens when the human subject develops cleverness without communion, mind without the felt recognition of the spiritual constellation that binds us all together. In short, it's a rather dull movie, Barry. The performances tend to be strong, but perhaps the overall show's a bit lacking in substance. A bit like poking one's finger through meringue, you see.
That's a good simile, Al. You know, Barry's more likely to understand a concept if you can frame it in terms of dessert.
Okay. You know, whatever we're paying that guy, it's too much. Anyway, that's all I can stand for right now, asswipes. Tune in next time. We're gonna...
Hey, Barry, I just thought of something, bro. Imagine this movie's ending from the perspective of Henry's father.
What do you mean?
Man, the last time we even see the dad or the shrink lady, Mark has just escaped from the living room or whatever.
Oh, that's right. They've got no idea that Henry's headed for the cliff with Susan.
Yeah, they also don't know that Henry has made his confession about Richard.
Which means they also got no idea that Henry's evil little ass just got smashed over the rocks.
Well, that's true. As far as Henry's dad knows, their biggest problem is the young Mark's gone a little crazy.
I mean, come on. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, you're right. This ending is actually kind of brilliant. All the characters are cynically oblivious to one another's pain. It's like a Coen Brothers movie or something. Okay, gang, I guess that's all we...
Fire in my hole, you skint bitches!
No, blow on, goddammit, you yes,
Am I a monster? Are there monsters in me?
Increasingly, the world around us looks as if we hated it.
Gaslight. Turn it off and on. All signs point to what you want.
Like fire in the wind, it comes around. Like dirt in your soul, it's gonna come around.